Hi everyone, my name is Vivian Mora and today I will be discussing aesthetics and art. So, what is an aesthetic? I, for one, assumed aesthetics was something visually pleasing to the eye and anything described as beautiful was considered an aesthetic for me. However, what actually goes into aesthetics? Rookmaker describes in depth the different aspects that contribute to forming an aesthetic. Beauty and art are what make up an aesthetic. Of course, everyone's perception of beauty is different, and how we interpret art is completely up to our own emotions and mentality. Rookmaker describes the aesthetics theory as a symbolic expression and language used to influence the psychological trends or phenomenon. Now, by identifying the factors that contribute to making a theory of aesthetics, we can go into depth of how each individual can view art and how to conceptualize it. There are many different artists that use psychology to understand the true meaning of an aesthetic. You might be wondering how psychology ties in with aesthetics. Now, when viewing a certain piece of art, it could sometimes draw out emotion and a story only few can relate to. Self expression and regulation is what is used to see the true meaning behind certain things. As Hagman said, self expression is not limited to emotion or affect the ideas of impressions, and I think this is how we should view ourselves in a different perspective and how it should not limit us to the possibilities of what we feel. So, the idea of being one with art and how it feels relating to art allows for one to embody the expression through the artist. Emotional tension is also a main factor that artists want their audience to experience when viewing certain art pieces. Self criticism also plays a huge role on how someone views artwork or an overall aesthetic. If someone views an art piece that has a pretty definite theme to it, for example, body positivity art, and those who struggle with body image can definitely see themselves in the art and have a different emotional appreciation towards the artist and the art. Also, playing with colors plays a huge role in the audience's emotion towards art. When using dark colors, this can evoke a sad presence that many individuals can relate to and draw a different reaction to those who have been in a dark place and understand the art on a new perspective. Now, how can these emotional factors be embedded in art? Many artists use their emotions to express and use their experiences to draw out emotion from their audience, like a one-on-one kind of thing. So, few artists are using poetry and psychology as a way to get into the audience's mind and how they might become one with the art piece. Many of Deckman's paintings use satire and self-criticism, which can allow for his audience to go into their own weaknesses and identify the real true meaning behind the painting or said art piece. Giving a therapeutic sense when the self-deprecation process of his art comes into play. Noting that this won't always offer a consolation process. And so now I've gone into detail about how art can be used so much more than vision and perspective. We can fully understand the meaning of many different aesthetic styles used throughout. Normally, we would think of aesthetics as a general term used to describe a look or how our lifestyles are, or using it to describe a person's look and personality. When in reality, we have forgotten the main theory and components to an actual aesthetic. It is interesting how many individual artists use their emotions to express their experiences that they've been through and to share a story through their art piece, evoking raw emotion and self-deprecating factors depending on the art itself. We enjoy the basic knowledge of color and art, however, seeing where it stems from and how people interpret it is all very eye-opening. And now I challenge you to reevaluate your definition of an aesthetic and what your perspective is, and try to look for the true meaning of an aesthetic through an art piece. Try digging into your emotional side and connect with art on a whole different level. You might be surprised to see the actual meaning behind an art piece instead of it just being a piece of art. So I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about aesthetics and art. Thank you.